Excuse me. Excuse me. Never mind. Do you mind if I sit here? Let's go back to the beginning. To the place where your shoelaces first get tangled. And your head first smacks against the sidewalk. To the place where our two hands first meet and our eyes first lock. I figured out precisely how long it takes after I finish my first cup of coffee in the morning to stop feeling exhausted and start feeling anxious, and precisely how long after that it will take for that same anxiety to send me crawling back into the same bed that I just managed to pull myself out of despite the excessive amount of caffeine coursing through my veins. But that's beside the point. Let's go back to the beginning where everything was beautiful and nothing hurt. Human compassion doesn't exist. Not in this city, at least. That's what the cop told me when I asked him for help. Not for me, but for you. But it's not like I don't need it anyway. But once again, that's also beside the point. Sometimes it just makes me feel kind of numb, not the comfortably disillusioned kind of numb, the scary kind of numb, the kind that makes you wonder if you somehow missed the part where you got hit by the M14 2 days ago while you were crossing 7th Avenue on your way to work. You didn't remember because you were in such a rush to do everything that everyone wanted you to do every day. I can barely remember to eat breakfast, let alone feel sometimes. There's this constant stimulation pulling me in all these different directions, occupying all of my time and saturating my senses with all of these lights and sounds and sights and smells of that man's cigarette that he just blew directly in my face as he was pushing past me on his rush to get on the L train. But of course that doesn't matter, because there's really nothing subtle about it, you see. No one cares. Human compassion doesn't exist, right? I remember when I was 15, I read Catcher in the Rye during my first bout with depression after losing my father to cancer. And I remember reading these descriptions of New York. Fabulous New York, this wonderful city where everything beautiful happened, and I remembered my father's stories of his childhood, and I thought that one day I'd move to this promised land, and everything would be fixed, all of my problems would be resolved. But I probably just assumed, considering most days now it just feels like I'm rubbing salt in a wound. I guess Holy Coffee was right. He said he hated New York. Everything about it, but that's just it. It's everything. It's living in New York. It's, the taxi cabs and the Madison Avenue bus lines and the drivers always yelling at you to get out of the weird door and talking to people who are convinced that the ones are angels, going up and down elevators and in and out of taxi cabs when all you want to do is really just go outside. Once again, that's beside the point. Let's go back to the beginning. To the place where your shoelaces first get tangled and your head first smacks against the sidewalk. To the place where our two hands first meet and our eyes first lock. Let's go back before we were all bruised and broken and battered and bitter from all of the things that we experience on day-to-day life. When we remembered to treat each other with kindness. When we remembered to help that person who smacked their head on the sidewalk, even though we have no idea who they are. When human compassion did exist. But maybe it's just a dream living here. I told him he'd be okay. He looked back at me like he was admitting defeat or something. I'll never be okay, he said. Well, of course you won't be. Not if you don't want to, at least.